Fangorn, what's going on?
The city council is now in session. Things are going well. We're making progress. I've told them all your names, and they've decided you are not orcs. Oh, you may now give your presentation.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money. Stand up. There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money. Laws protect exceptional trees, but the city grants exemptions to these. Instead, they reward the developer's greed and sanction the murderer's deed.
In the sky where a tree once was, somebody's making money.
There's a hole. Everybody stand up! There's a hole in the sky where a tree once was.
Oh, fuck me.
That shit rules.
Wow, thank you guys for showing me that. That was actually dramatically worse than I imagined when I just, like, saw the like, screen cap of it.
Oh, yeah.
Online. I imagined like it would have like a childish melody and would like be sort of sing-songy and like but vaguely sort of simple and innocent, but like
it was certainly simple.
Well, I mean that was just like that was just bizarre.
Well, you didn't even get to see the video too, because the cast of characters is.
I've seen the pictures. Yeah, I've seen a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
trying to get that Seahawks drip. That's.
I mean, what is there to say? Like everyone already had this take. I think what we try to do here is shed a more skeptical light on the discourse in this town, but like I don't think anyone had anything but like derision for these people.
No, we actually have a different take than everybody else in that we think the song slaps.
Yeah, it's very good, and it's also what politics is.
Yeah, exactly. Is singing an insane song that you made after listening to that Leonard Nimoy Hobbit album.
But let's so forget how bad the song is, because like, and again, people also had this take, but fuck these people. Like, and they're just... I mean, having the time and the to care about this. Like, okay, I also think we should have lots more trees in the city, and we shouldn't cut down large trees, and we should, but like, we're not gonna have like humanity if we're just thinking about like, let's just think about the natural world for a minute. Like, we're all gonna be dead. I mean, those people are gonna be, those old fucking like boomer hippie rich people are gonna be dead like in a few years, but like the entire like ecosystem is gonna be dead. And also, like, we're living in a police state, so like I just have no sympathy for like these out of touch morons, like deck chairs on the Titanic.
That and I mean, does anybody believe for a second that this isn't just cynically protecting their property values?
No, totally. Yeah,
I mean, like
that's. I mean, the whole tree battle in this town is between people who want to cut them down to develop, or just to enhance their views for the property value. And people, who want...
Well, those who want the trees to stay because they don't want higher density units showing up in their neighborhood.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or it's... I mean, that is... I think something like this has also attracted some zealous, like, true believers. Like, because I've run into some of these people pushing this tree ordinance at like during like the election forums last year. Like I got some manifestos by some like old like Father Time looking people.
Greg exchanged his manifesto with their manifesto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I tried to get it out, you know, to as many people as I could. No, it sucks. It's dumb.
Yeah. Well, the funniest thing was on the original like Twitter thread for the person who was like, you know, I fucking hate this city. Somebody was like, posted a thing about like, you know, in Cleveland they're like having these like huge green like belts of trees or whatever. And somebody under it responded and was like, yeah, that's not like a plan. The city's dying. Like literally everybody's left Cleveland, so like nature's just inhabited it. Like you know, it's like yes,
whole towns in the south are now covered in kudzu.
Yeah, it's like if we too abandon the city, it will be covered in vines. Like
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, I think, you know, if we were design the cities of tomorrow, they should include instead of streets, large like groves of mighty cedars
That we swing.
Yeah, obviously
across the for transit.
Yeah, rope bridges,
Like Planet of the Apes.
No,
Yeah.
like that little town they built in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Thieves' Forest. Yeah,
Yeah, where they're
Sherwood.
like, oh, let's all live in tree houses for reasons.
Yeah, but yeah, also shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, again, nothing new to say there. Just really bizarre and funny.
Yeah.
Extremely bizarre. So welcome back to Seattle Sucks, a podcast about hating the city we love.
And folks, we hate it.
We hate it so much. So does everybody else, it seems like these
No,
days.
yeah,
but
this way of thinking is catching on.
it
And
is.
everybody we know in Seattle has left Seattle today to go hang out with Bernie in Tacoma.
Oh yeah, that's everyone's
because-
there now. Probably. Well, they're probably no. Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
thing only
still
started at
going.
6, so like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
popping off. I mean, that sounds fun. I hope everyone has a great time. I hope everyone had a great time getting there at noon. I heard that Tacoma DSA was organizing like food in line for everybody.
Damn.
And I think that's great. And I also think that the need for that illustrates exactly why I am not there. Absolutely no fucking way. That's like going to a fucking festival. It's like a 12-hour day of standing around, crowded, fucking outside in the cold, then in a hall, in a fucking stadium. It's awesome to see some of these people speak, see Bernie, but hey, I've seen Bernie, okay, and I didn't have to wait around for 12 hours, Cool. I'm not dogging on it. I think it's awesome. A lot of people went out there. I'm sure they're having a great time. I'm just an old curmudgeonly fuck that I don't even like. I don't
Us
like
being
crowds. I don't like loud noise. I don't even like live music. So, I mean, also, I don't want to have the same small talk conversation about how we really need Medicare for all like 700 times in a day, if I'm not actually like with other Bernie people, like
Yeah, but that's your opportunity to change the small talk, and you can talk about how we need more guillotines and
Yeah, exactly.
No, again, everyone's whatever the thing is, like I've already heard it a lot,
preaching to the choir is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just like, yeah, I get worn out by that real quick,
I was at a UFO convention one time.
Hell yeah.
And I was
Go on.
I was waiting in line to potentially meet and get the autograph of one Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens.
That's the dude with the hair?
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Okay. That's the dude from This Island Earth.
Yeah, because
The
aliens.
actual alien.
But the small talk that was going on in that line, which was so good, was this two people that were behind me were having this conversation. Two people didn't know each other beforehand, having a organic line conversation about their various alien theories that involved interdimensional travel and
Ooh.
like what ancient monuments they thought the aliens had built. And then one of them started talking Bigfoot, and the other one just was like in the most contemptuous possible way, was like, "I'll go in for that Bigfoot stuff."
That is really funny. But again, like what I hear there is like two people who didn't know each other having small talk about the thing they both know about that they have already talked about. I'm just like,
I'm just saying you could have brought that conversation to the line.
Yeah, but I mean, I just, if I'm showing up to that thing, if I was at that, I would be like, please, no one start talking to me about this thing we all are here to know because we know about. Like, just please don't. It was nice, like in Iowa. It was hanging just nonstop with like Bernie volunteers and staffers for like 2 weeks, living with them.
Is this the guy you're gonna be now? The like when I went to Europe,
Yeah.
I was on the continent.
Hey, listen, I don't have much. All right, I have that.
When I went to Iowa and we maybe won the caucus there, but nobody knows or will know for another 10
ever.
years. Yeah.
Till they unseal the files after we're dead.
Yeah, basically.
No, but it was great because like real possibility for that I was kind of dreading. But then of course, no, everyone was busy talking about that all day with people who didn't know about it already. So no one really wanted to have that conversation. We all know about the basic points of Bernie and socialism and whatever this election and like, what's the strategy? How's this all going to play out? For the most part.
Well, and you guys were also like,
we did have some of those conversations,
too,
with people that I know and like to talk to, but
when you guys were doing something, so you have conversations about the weird shit you saw while like
exactly.
being outside,
But also like when you talk to someone about Medicare for all day, like on their doorstep, like 100 times, you're not like trying.
Yeah, you're burnt out on it.
Yeah, which is so it was good.
Yeah, that's what you were hearing. Now Greg no longer endorses Medicare for all. He's burnt out on it. He's now a Bloomberg guy.
Yeah, aren't we all? Mini Mike. I've been posting for Mike.
We're all Bloomberg guys now.
Summer posting for Mike.
Honestly, we should get in on some of that.
I'm having some car trouble right now. Actually, I probably should start posting for Mike to get a little cash on the side. Some of that sweet Mike money.
I need a little cash as an entree. Forget the side.
Yeah, Greg needs his boat is currently on fire, possibly.
A main course of cash right now.
So
an infusion.
Yeah, he needs money for wires. So
yeah, what the fuck, man?
I think maybe there was a rat. What do you think? A big, disgusting rat.
There are, and always will be electrical problems.
True.
If the worst that happens is the breakers start tripping randomly, that's fine. The only real problem is if I die in my sleep from an electrical fire.
All right. So anybody that wants to take that on the old office pool?
The Seattle Sucks death pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's not good, Greg. I'm here to tell you that's not good.
It's like 40-year-old wiring in a marine environment. I'm sure it's fine.
You shouldn't talk about your body that way, first of all. Well, speaking of wires and technology and electricity, our Frankenstein mayor has unveiled some life out of the old Innovation Advisory Council. Do you remember them? Did you remember them?
Do you remember? I know you remember them.
Oh, I remember them fondly.
A very dusty corner of my brain vaguely remembers this.
Well, let's consult the figures, shall we? So, some intrepid person created a little clock here. It's like Jeff Bezos' 10,000-year clock.
That's how long it's going to take for any meaningful.
The question is, has the Innovation Advisory Council innovated yet? Question mark. Answer, probably still no, though maybe we should revisit that answer.
Subjective.
So this council was founded 564 days.
Wait, where's the URL where we can find that out?
This is seattle.sucks/innovation-advisory-council. Go there.
Okay.
Check our tweets.
Is there like a plug-in people can like put the clock in their browser or like a widget for their phone?
Well, we could.
We develop
we could make an app. Yeah.
Maybe like a task bar or something at the top of your.
Yeah. Something that like hogs a lot of resources.
That's
as a bit.
Yeah, that's secretly mining crypto coin.
Yes.
Yes, there will be soon.
That's innovation.
The top minds at the Magnolia Machine Learning Academy will be on that. So it's been 515 days since the first time this group of Innovation Advisory Council members met. And 327 days since their projects were revealed to the public.
Oof. Hey, man,
And
it's under a year.
Revealed to the public on this show, I believe. Actually.
Yeah. Basically. And again, to jog your memory, this was the gang of incredible STEM freaks that Durkan assembled. Like, she started screaming from City Hall, and they just came down. And it's
She assembled the city's finest app makers.
yeah, app smiths, tech grifters,
Yeah.
seasteaders,
again? So
probably.
it's like
Zillow was one of them.
Zillow,
I believe
Tableau.
Lyft
Tableau.
was definitely on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah,
Lyft
because,
was on
they're
the
inner
list.
cabinets.
Yeah.
You know, or-
Those are the biggest names. I don't recall if Microsoft or Facebook were.
no, nobody that big was.
I think Amazon had some people helping out, but I'm not sure how much support was there.
Their support was $100 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, right. It was free bananas
Yeah. They give free access to the banana stand.
to the members of the Innovation Advisory Council. So it was all these top minds, and if you've been following this, you remember at their first meeting they were pretty gung-ho about solving all our problems with technology.
Well, they were going to solve it with a day one mindset, so they first had to come up with the problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is why this took 2 years.
This was it's a new, extremely dark and evil spin on the classic Blue Ribbon Commission. You know, it's like, we're going to get some people together to work on this. Now stop paying attention.
Yeah.
But with the particularly like techno-dystopic Seattle flavor of, we're going to get corporations who are the innovators of our society, the gods among us, who sling code at us.
Yeah, that we all know works so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the shitty apps that you hate on your phone. What if those were what were used to like provide vital services to the city?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. or like run elections.
Yeah. What if those apps meant like the difference between life and death for you?
Well, give it time.
Yeah, cool. So, dumb from the beginning. We said from the start this was stupid. It was nothing, and that ultimately it would probably just end up being a channel for like contracts for these companies for the city. Now we still have not been able to confirm this because there's never any actual fucking journalism on this shit because nobody cares. So they just reprint the fucking press releases basically. That's all that GeekWire had.
And Engadget and a few other Como, I think, also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been saying this was shitty for like a year, and boy, are our faces red today.
Yeah.
Yes, because one of those, what was it? Was it like 9 or 12 projects?
No, they had 10 projects.
Okay, 10
That's a good
projects.
number. 3 of which involved early detection of earthquakes.
Yeah.
Which was the funniest fucking thing. I totally forgot about that till today.
Well, and
Holy
remember
shit.
that one that was like a job board for
children.
Weren't they
kids.
all
There was
pretty
a
much like
children's job board.
dashboards for City Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, Tableau's was literally like, we'll make a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like a spreadsheet they can enter data into, and other people can see it.
Hell yeah.
Like, cool, man. That probably doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
they were the ones working on the reporting for availability, right? That's what they were doing. In shelters specifically. Yeah. Allegedly. Anyway, so something has finally come out. All that magic, all that conjuring that they've been doing around computer screens and
It's live.
naked children and vats of blood. It's
version 1.
Something has crawled out, and it crawled out from Zillow. And Mayor Frankenstein says, from the start, Zillow has been a visionary partner in the Innovation Advisory Council.
I mean, do words have any meaning?
No,
at
they
this point?
they do
A
not.
Visionary partner.
This is some Pete Buttigieg
Just
shit.
let's hear how visionary this is.
Today, with Connector PNW and Seattle O. Oh, I'm reading a tweet if you didn't realize that. We are launching the new Housing Connector search tool to help more people find an affordable home faster and easier. than ever before.
So what Zillow invented was a tool, maybe an app, perhaps, for finding housing that potentially you could filter by price range and region.
So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, but primary to that even, right? Like, you have to think, like, right, at some point they identified what are the problems we need to solve, and this is ostensibly solving one of them. So let's say that Zillow didn't already exist. What they're saying in this press release is, and there's some key words in here, helping people find affordable housing faster and easier. So
It's a market problem.
assuming anyone does find affordable housing, if they use this tool, they will have done so slightly faster and easier. But it should be obvious to anyone who isn't a cynical fucking slime bag that is not the actual problem. The problem is that our housing is too expensive.
Yeah.
It's not even that there's not enough
Right.
of it available.
As
It's just
we
that
know.
it's too fucking
Yeah.
expensive. Housing is too expensive. People cannot afford housing, and that is why they're being put out on the street left and right.
Well, are you sure it's just that Zillow didn't include houses that these people could afford previously?
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't buy a home?
Well, tell us. Okay, so
Yeah.
so what does this do?
Well, why don't we hear it from the mouths of babes in their own words here? So this is Zillow Group press releases. Durkan and Constantine, that's Dow, launch a Zillow-powered search tool to help solve affordable housing disconnect.
Hell
To
yeah.
help.
Yeah.
In there is the phrase "solve affordable housing,"
Yeah.
which already is like
Yeah, that's
confusing, but
alarm bells.
it's bracketed by help and disconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
like
what? So, break that down. It's Zillow will now help with this disconnect. That's it. There's
Yeah.
a disconnect somewhere.
Well,
People are disconnected from something.
well, they want to
what could that be?
Have they
mitigate as much
tried
responsibility as possible.
Unplugging their housing
Yeah.
and plugging it back in.
If they haven't, they will.
I mean, if you get an eviction notice, just cycle the power on your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
well, it's very often a scam from Africa or another nation, so you should just throw it away. So this don't even open it. Don't
Yeah,
even
do not
read it.
open that eviction
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah,
That's how
no.
they get you. That's how they get you.
That
And then they'll steal your credit cards.
that document you got that says you have to pay rent. Be very careful about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that is a scam.
There's malware in there. New tool helps Housing Connector place individuals and families experiencing homelessness into privately owned homes and apartments quickly and efficiently.
I like this like wording too. The privately owned homes or apartments, like it's the landlords.
Yeah,
They hook you up with a landlord.
yeah.
right.
Wealthy
So,
people.
Yeah.
But again, this is just Zillow. This is what
Yeah,
Zillow
you
is.
can
Yeah.
literally look for rental units on Zillow. I mean, one of the funny like things that's been on Twitter now for like a year is people looking up on Zillow like houses under $400,000 and like the map of Seattle and to be like there are 20 available,
Oh,
and then
God.
doing like any other city in America and
Yeah.
like there'll be like thousands available. Yeah, so.
So-
Again, like Zillow is even used for a funny
Yeah.
internet joke about how stupid the fucking housing is
Well,
here.
I'm willing to believe that it's just the disconnect. It's not that there are only 20 houses available.
Yeah.
Why don't we hear about this? So,
Yeah.
Seattle Mayor Jenny A. Durkan, interesting, and King County Executive Dow Constantine today unveiled a new Zillow-powered search tool to help match local nonprofit service providers and their clients experiencing homelessness with owners of affordable vacant rental units. So have you seen how this facade, the public facade, is already eroded in one fucking sentence?
Oh, yeah.
To reveal the reality of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally like a landlord search engine.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well-
this is like a Durkan thing too. Is referring to like homeless people as clients, which is like
Yeah.
the grossest fucking like shit. Like,
Yeah,
they're
that's
our
It's-
clients and
yeah.
customers. We must deliver them services.
yeah, down the barrel of a
We
gun.
must, delight them.
Yeah,
in
customer
the day one
delight.
mindset. Yeah. No, but it's like, so okay. People at Housing Connector, which is some city and county group, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
yeah.
that's about connecting people with affordable housing. It's a resource that caseworkers basically will have this as part of their software portal that they can type things into to find these people housing. But again, they could just do that on Zillow. So it's like no new anything has been made available. We're not changing the terms of this economy. We're not changing the laws about renting. We're not regulating anything. We're not building public housing. We're just like implicit in that. Were they not allowed to use Zillow? I mean, of course, that's ridiculous.
Well, the premise here is that landlords have the landlords are desperate to rent to the homeless.
Right. Oh,
It's just the homeless are too dumb to find the landlord.
They don't know how to
And
use the
now-
apps.
And
Yeah.
they bridge the gap.
Well, see,
so that's the
Yeah.
story we're going
well,
with.
first, it's not just first. It's the caseworkers, right? That's who has this. When they have a case, someone that manages to get connected up with like city or county services to help them find a home that they're not going to help them find. But to put them through a system and check off the box that said, no, we can't find this person a home. Next, please. They get to use this thing, which they would have had. But what it does also say is landlords will also be able to use this tool to connect with clients. So what that says is this is new. This is not a thing on Zillow necessarily. Unless you put your information in there and be like, I want to buy a house, please market one to me, right? Which you can do.
Yeah.
But that's what this is. So that's people, rich people wanting to buy a house. They can use Zillow and other services like this as a realtor, basically. They can be marketed to for, and also a big part of that business is being marketed to for home loans as well, as well as the real estate itself. So you can put in what you're looking for and have it spam you, But homeless people probably aren't doing that. So what apparently this suggests is caseworkers will now, as part of this, I'm assuming as a matter of course, when people like touch this Housing Connector program, they will have their information that's in the system go into the Zillow app, which means Zillow will have it, which means, first of all, hey, they can be marketed to for low-interest home loans. Great.
Yeah.
Probably they can be marketed to for other things. Probably eventually Zillow will sell their data.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or they will have it for years when they, they're like, or they will use it in their. For them, it's like they'll put this in their numbers. Like, we have this many customers on the site, right? We have for their ad, whatever. Like, they'll just cynically use this in some way or think they're going to, or they'll be like, but basically what it's saying this is a way for to generate leads for landlords. Like, literally, but they're like the shittiest possible leads.
Yeah. Well, like in a darker interpretation might even be that essentially you're building a blacklist for landlords, right, of people not to rent to, because we know that landlords specifically don't want to rent to the homeless, right?
So it's not a good lead for them.
Yeah. So the beginning premise again, which is that landlords are desperate to rent to the homeless, but the homeless just can't find the landlords or something, is so ass backwards that like what you might end up doing is just building a blacklist.
That
of people
makes
not to
way
rent
more
to.
fucking sense. I mean, of how, because what are you going to do as a landlord when the city is like, hey, did you know you can make an account and log into the site and we'll tell you about all these destitute people on the street who are currently living in a tent somewhere and being shuffled around by the cops. You can invite them to live in your place right now, if assuming you're willing to rent it to them at a price they can afford. Like, first of all, you're not willing to do that. Second of all, even if they could, this is not who you want. They don't. Landlords go out of their fucking way
Yeah.
Now,
To like discriminate against these people, which is why you have to pass laws to prevent it.
And we do have laws. They're easy to get around now. And I could see a scenario when because it's in the app, that's like a real paper trail about like how, because like you can get around like who you're renting to by like, it's like whoever like qualifies, in order of application, but like you can fudge that. They're just like paper. You make people turn in paper applications at the open house viewing that starts at this time that people are lined up for, and that then there's no paper trail as what dropped in your hand first, so you can say whatever. With this, there's a timestamp and a paper trail, but then either that's no incentive for anyone to participate, or like you said, they could just like, if someone does come to them outside that system, they can go look on this and see like, oh, is this someone who I can rent to through this app? Well, no, then.
Yeah. I mean, if you create like a sort of informal blacklist or whatever too, it's like who's gonna know that you did it, right? And hey, applications disappear all the time. Yeah, I mean, the thing though that we should do is like kind of paint the whole picture of what's happening, right? Which is you're homeless. You're, maybe living in a tent with what meager things that you have in life at this point. The police and some city service people come down. The police immediately take all your possessions you have in the world and throw it in a dumpster. They then line you up, potentially at gunpoint, like they did in the jungle. And you have a city service worker sitting there, right? Now, a bunch of the like organizations that like help the homeless and stuff refuse to do these things now, so it's whatever ghoul is willing to go work with the cops at this point. And they sit there and they connect you to services. So this line of people who literally had everything that they owned in the world thrown away and were told that if you stand here another minute longer, we're putting you in fucking prison. And those are the people that are then going to get on the app and have these landlords just dying to give them a place to stay.
Beg them to come fill their empty, low-priced units.
Yeah, that exist all over the city and that we're all are very aware of. I mean,
what a fucking it's just a fucking smoke screen. Like it's so, but it's like a transparent one. I mean, like the gall and cynical audacity of this shit. Like it's disgusting and incredible that Mayor Jenny Durkan is running for re-election. I mean, this is what she has offered, essentially. God, it's fucking disgusting.
It's pretty gross, but would you like to hear more in their own words?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Well, maybe just real quick before we hear more in their own words, is that I think it was literally the same day that Durkan announced the sweet innovation thing. The Seattle Times, Daniel Beekman with the Seattle Times, had an article where I'll just give you the tweet right here that sums up the article, perfectly, which is demand for affordable housing. More than 20,000 people again expected to enter a lottery for 2,500 spots on a waiting list for Section 8 vouchers from the King County Housing Authority. So literally we have 20,000 people just trying to get on it. And these probably are not even homeless people. These are just people who can't afford housing, who are just trying to get on a waiting list of 2,500 spots where they'll wait for years to maybe someday in the future get a Section 8 voucher. And the title of the article is literally vying for a golden ticket. So it's just using a metaphor from a movie about winning an impossible lottery to go to the magic chocolate factory.
That turns out is like a complicated like psychological test.
Trap. Which is a trap to punish you for having
actually
won.
Most people die.
Lose,
they don't just lose; they all die
or they're like deformed or
something. They're mutilated.
I think in the movie they imply that they're okay. I think in the book they do not. But
in the book, I think you just never hear about them again, and it's strongly implied that they are dead.
So again, I mean, just combine that with what you know about like homeless people and how they receive, in quotes, receive services. What a fucking joke. But let's hear more, because maybe we're just wrong. We're judging them off of 2 paragraphs. What do we know?
A project born of Mayor Durkan's Innovation Advisory Council and launched in 2018, the new search tool was developed by a team of Zillow employees in close partnership with the Seattle Office of Housing, local nonprofit organization Housing Connector, and its network of service providers and property owners. The Innovation Advisory Council, whose members come from the corporate, academic, and nonprofit sectors, collaborates with the City of Seattle to use data and technology to solve Seattle's most urgent challenges in the areas of homelessness, affordability, mobility, delivery of essential services, and more.
Earthquake early detection.
yeah, exactly. And again, homelessness is a data and technology problem, not a physical building problem.
Absolutely
Definitely.
wretched.
Yeah, but I do love this. So again, I mean, Greg brought this up that there's never any mention of money exchanging hands, but it's hard to believe that like these people at Zillow are just doing this, like
Out of the goodness.
Well,
of their,
maybe to
their
like
hearts.
clear a DUI off their record or something. Like,
There's two possible scenarios. The whole thing smells to me of just a clearinghouse for contracts, right? Like this Innovation Council, by being on the Innovation Council, by standing there with Mayor Jenny, by participating in these press releases, and by doing it this way, this gives you the opportunity to pitch and bid on getting this service. That's what makes sense to me. No one will talk about this in the reporting. Maybe we just got to start asking people.
Well,
We're
yeah.
asking journalists to ask, but maybe we're missing it somewhere. Someone show us. The other possibility, I guess, is that this is what this is. They're just doing this pro bono, like as a charitable donation, which also makes sense. What have they really done here? Like,
Yeah.
they're
Probably
not,
made a worse version of Zillow.
so they're going to call.
That's
So
they could use,
what they
yeah.
will do then is they will assign a value to this. If this is a charitable donation, they'll assign some inflated value to this, call it charity. They'll report that as their charitable giving for the year. They'll get a tax break on it, and etc. And having spent nothing because all they did was marry their existing tool to the city's back-end software. You know.
Well, and it's window dressing, right, for their sort of accumulation of capital in the city, right? So it's literally in the Gilded Age they would have thrown change at you out of their buggy, and now they just make apps,
Let
to
them
make you
eat
feel-
apps.
Yeah, like if we didn't have these, wealthy tech companies, who would make the apps,
What would
right,
we
that
do?
provide the services?
Yeah. Well, I think Tableau recently, I believe we never covered this on the show, though we found an article, had some contract with some other city for dashboard stuff, which I wouldn't be surprised was related to this work at the Innovation Advisory Council. That's one thing. And another thing that I believe we talked about at the time was a lot of these companies that ended up in this council were some of the most vocal opponents of the employee head tax.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, this is the window dressing for getting rid of the head tax,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
This is their laundering of their, which is what all that charity is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So it continues. Zillow's search tool directly addresses one of the biggest challenges for case managers searching for affordable housing for their clients experiencing homelessness. Case managers no longer have to laboriously look for available homes property by property. The units are now at their fingertips through Zillow's online listing platform.
Well, and,
absolutely absurd.
well, and also like
Nonsense.
It saved me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe.
Zillow exists. Fucking
Yeah, yeah.
Craigslist exists. PadMapper exists.
Well, and again, it's also it's solving a problem that the private sector caused, right?
Yeah.
Like 50 years ago, they wouldn't have been going because they would have had a list of available public housing units, and they would just put you in one, right? But now, because we privatize everything, it's like, wow, that's made it incredibly bureaucratic and awful to do anything. So let's make another bureaucratic tool that
The bureaucratic layers
fucking-
here
yeah.
are just like stacking on top of the fact that we have no housing. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really
Oh,
just
yeah.
a screen over that.
Well, the bureaucratic layers are all just hiding the layers of private sort of accumulation, and making it much more opaque what's actually happening, which is that people are getting squeezed out of the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through Zillow's search tool, Housing Connector partner landlords will be able to quickly.
Partner landlord.
How'd you like to have that on
homeless
your
clients.
LinkedIn profile.
This
Well,
is
my
my
new-
this is my partner landlord.
Yeah, this is my new romance novels. Partner landlords and homeless
Housing
clients.
connector partner landlord
Oh, it's-
looking
it's-
for tenant.
Landlord client / fiction.
Yeah.
We'll be able to quickly upload housing inventory, and local nonprofit service providers will be able to find housing inventory in real time for tenants who need affordable housing. Housing connector landlords have adjusted or waived criteria that would normally prevent those most in need from qualifying for the home.
Oh, have they?
35 landlords throughout Seattle and King County and 42 nonprofit service providers are active on the platform as it launches.
Damn, sounds like they got a real quorum of landlords there.
Yeah, this is just going like gangbusters. Zillow's hockey stick, rocket ship. Zillow's search tool does not require or knowingly collect the personal information of tenants, and no user information through Housing Connector is sold to third parties. So maybe it's not a marketplace for renters if that's the case, but
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah. So now we're into the quotes. Let's really hear these out. We are fortunate to live in one of the most innovative, talent-rich ecosystems anywhere on the planet.
Hell yeah.
And for too long, our government has existed as if we have no relationship to it.
Hell yeah.
Fuck off.
Hell yeah.
Fuck off.
Oh my God! Right? Yeah, that no relationship to our tech firms here,
Yeah.
like Boeing and their massive
Yeah.
tax giveaways.
We just have their sex organs in every orifice we have. I created the Innovation Advisory Council because we know that the challenges facing our region cannot be addressed by government alone, said Mayor Durkan. I'm incredibly proud of the work that Zillow and the Housing Connector have done to make it easier for people experiencing homelessness to find affordable housing and for affordable housing providers to connect with those in need. Zillow, Housing Connector, and the Seattle Office of Housing have shown that by working together, we can find truly innovative solutions to some of our region's most pressing
Well,
challenges.
what I love, I'm very proud that they spent a year and a half just repackaging their
Yeah.
app and selling it back to us. And yeah, to connect people, what have they done? They haven't done anything yet. Yeah, they repackaged the app and sold it to you. That was
Right?
it,
Yeah.
you
This
know?
is incredible. Honestly.
Yeah. Just truly fucking amazing.
Dow says Zillow's new application streamlines the connection between property managers who have apartments available and families who need housing now.
Isn't that what a fucking market is for? Like, isn't that the whole point in orthodox economics
Yeah.
of the justification for markets is to organically distribute goods and services efficiently in a way that we can't do technically. We can't use technical expertise or bureaucracy or government or whatever to do because it's too complex, but with supply and demand, these things sort themselves out, right? Right? But no, they're saying, no, we need to give this market. We've gone with a market system for housing. We've commodified housing. And yet somehow, for some reason, people just can't get connected up with their house. So what we need to do is not decommodify housing, but give an assist to the basic functions of the market, which are used to justify it in the first place.
Well, yeah, when the private market fails to provide a service, what you need to do is allow for the entry of another tier of privatized management to sneak its way into that market and siphon some of the money out of it in order to question mark. I forgot where we started on that. So, which is about where we're at. I mean, like, it's so funny because it's like such a long way to go from just saying like, look, we're just never gonna build housing, guys. Like,
Yeah.
so just saying fuck you to everybody that needs housing.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Our community desperately needs more affordable housing, said Kelmendi, Executive Director of Housing Connector.
Cool. We should build an app.
I think you're
Not
right.
a house, but an app.
And while we're working to build that housing, individuals experiencing
Are we?
homelessness can't wait. They need a home today. Together with Zillow, we are thrilled to launch this new search tool to scale our impact, and streamline how individuals access housing with reduced screening criteria, ultimately decreasing the time a unit sits vacant and the number of days a family must experience homelessness.
Again, that's the market, but what the market is supposed to do. But you also just said we need more housing. We need more affordable housing. But until we get the thing we need, we're gonna do a bunch of gobbledygook gibberish.
Yeah,
It's just bullshit.
well, that and like the idea too that housing units sit, like rental units sit like open in Seattle is a lie. Like they turn over
Affordable ones
instantly.
don't. Ones
Yeah, they turn
anyone
instantly.
can afford are gone immediately.
Yeah, the ones
Lots of them sit vacant.
Yeah,
but
at the
they
higher
are
tier of-
astronomically priced.
Yeah, I mean it's this completely just insane. You would have to have this gobbledygook enter your brain. You would have to look at what's the most obvious like solution to this, which is this, we need to have more housing available, whether that's by seizing units that are empty and making them public housing or building public housing. Instead of doing that, you just have to smash your head into like a fucking wall.
No, you have to
for,
see
like,
that as the
45
obvious
minutes.
solution and
Yeah.
go,
Can't do that.
everyone, ladies, gentlemen, we must avoid this at all costs.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
As a company headquartered in Seattle, Zillow is committed to doing what we can to help address one of the greatest challenges facing our region today, housing affordability and homelessness. When asked by the mayor to serve on her Innovation Advisory Council,
This is where we start playing like the West Wing,
it's
like,
like-
soaring West Wing music.
no,
yeah.
it's like a chivalric order,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
No, it's a fellowship. They were called to form a fellowship
Yeah.
of the app.
and in the innovation bind them.
Yeah.
When asked by the mayor to serve on her Innovation Advisory Council and work with Housing Connector, which needed a better way to find and surface available housing inventory, we saw an opportunity to use our unique skill set to build a tool that will help Housing
Absolute
Connector
gibberish.
fulfill its mission to help families
Oh my
find a
God.
home.
Our unique skill set to take an app we already made and just repackage
Yeah.
it. Probably to like a shittier thing.
Oh yeah, no
Well,
doubt.
just- charge you for it.
I'm guessing they actually connected it up with the, made some kind of port for the data to go from Housing Connector of all the clients. That's what they did. They
Yeah.
made a thing that takes their data automatically into that Zillow app. But like,
Yeah, they just made
So
like
what?
a portal interface with their own Zillow app. And the portal interface is probably like a shittier version than the one that's just on Zillow.
probably.
So people probably would just better off just putting the app on their phone, but But again, defeating the point of the fact that there's just no house.
Because you don't need, honestly, you don't need to know the name of the client to find you can just look like, are there any places affordable? No. Okay, well, we can skip a whole step here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is mind-numbing.
Through the leadership and support
God.
of Mayor Durkan and Executive Constantine,
The self-stroking
yeah.
this is incredible.
yeah,
Durkan is like the Gandalf of this fellowship.
I'm surprised they didn't asphyxiate from all the methane in the room when they were writing this. And a tremendous amount of hard work by some of our most talented employees and engineers. We are excited and honored to launch this new tool that we hope will make a meaningful difference in the lives of our neighbors, whom we hate and complain about constantly on apps like Nextdoor and what was the Amazon one?
Yeah,
I always forget. Neighbor.
yeah, neighbors.
Neighbors.
Like, so, I mean, that's a funny point, too. Like, for every app that these companies build to, like, help people who need housing for the city or whatever, like, they build 50 different apps for homeowners to complain about the homeless. Like, so again, one of those things, too. Like, I burned down
system works.
Yeah, I burned down the entire forest, but I did plant this tree, so who's to say
Innovation
what's right or wrong?
is blind, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's one of my. It's almost over. Here's the funny incentive that you all probably saw coming. To help attract private property owners and landlords as partners, Housing Connector provides free referrals to ready-to-rent residents and financial support to cover a variety of costs, ensuring access to benefits that include rent guarantee, security deposits, damage mitigation funds, and unit hold fees, etc. So
okay, so that's a real program,
Mhm.
but like, so assuming you qualify for all this stuff, yeah, this thing. But I mean, is that 1 million people that we need to speed up every one of these things by 10 minutes to like save on staffing costs? No, I mean,
Well, and the problem is that
this is a small program.
well, and those are programs too that appeal to people, to like landlords who want to rent to the bottom of the market, right? Traditionally, slumlords and whatnot, right? But the problem with this city is those people don't really exist anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like the landlords have figured out that like all the money is at the top of the market, and that you don't even have to like, because they've figured out these insane scams where you don't even have to rent the units yet you still somehow make money off of it. So the problem is too is like, great, you have this program. We literally have nothing at the bottom of the market, and not only does it not exist now, nobody's building it. Like, so we have nothing now. We'll have less tomorrow, and even less than that the next day.
right.
And so it's one of those things of like, it's just jerking off into the wind. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what is this speed going to help? It's going to help someone from this program get that apartment before someone else who needs it does. I mean,
Yeah.
like I don't even like.
it's gonna help us.
There are
shuffle.
no like
Yeah.
no like overload of. There's no supply of overload like
well, like
affordable apartments.
the
I live on a
100
fucking
units or
boat.
whatever that exists in the city, it'll help shuffle the 100 units around faster or something, right? Like, you know,
Yeah, but between evictions.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
basically, yeah, like you know, allow them to like shuffle the residents through quicker, which I'm sure some landlord has figured out some sort of scheme where if he shuffles them through like every 3 months, he skims like an extra couple $100 or some shit. But again, even those like schemers, the slumlord schemers, like don't really exist anymore. Like they've all been kind of either pushed out or they've, you know, moved to a different scam.
Look,
you
there
know?
is still some
Yeah.
lower cost housing, but it is always taken up, and it's
Yeah.
and it's dwindling. It goes
Well,
away. It's being chipped away at.
It's nowhere near what's needed. Is the
Yeah,
thing.
nowhere near, and it is going away. You know, a handful of people are still getting a deal in this town, but like those buildings are getting torn down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think this is hilarious because this is the thing, right? I mean, this is ultimately the juice here in that they convince some landlords via essentially subsidies to rent to a population they wouldn't rent to. It's not the technology.
With money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But this like
Yeah.
we didn't need
Rent
technology.
guarantee.
We didn't
Oh,
need
yeah,
any of that.
ridiculous.
We just
Yeah.
had
Never-
to approach what was it, 32 landlords and
Yeah.
go, "Hey, would you be willing to rent to these people you think are subhuman if we gave you money?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, we give you like guaranteed money
Yeah.
to do it. And the thing is like the people that are willing to do that, like, again, this is how this stuff always worked. They just, you know, communicated with the city what units they had available.
Right,
So
right,
the caseworker
yeah.
would just pop on to open the book, pop onto the computer or whatever, and it would just say like, okay, these units, it's like renting a hotel room or something.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the desk clerk, they don't pull up the Zillow app and like, well, let's see if there's any rooms available. They don't go to like cheap tickets and like
Yeah.
see if there's rooms available
Right.
in their own hotel. Like they
Yeah.
they know what's available because like they work together,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
Right,
you know?
and it's not like they didn't have software for this, right? So basically,
Yeah, it's called Excel or
Yeah,
like
it's a spreadsheet.
a
It's literally
fucking
a fucking
So all they
spreadsheet.
did
CSV and a
was, like,
notepad
modernize
file.
and
Tableau.
update this bit of back-end software. You know.
Yeah. Well, what they've done is they've eliminated the need for the social worker to call or open
Yeah.
a document, and I guess instead.
I mean, ultimately, they're gonna have to do that anyway, right?
Oh, yeah.
well, yeah. So it's done nothing.
So like,
No, no,
It's
really-
literally
it's
done nothing.
nothing.
Like the
It's done
technology's useless completely on its face.
Yeah.
Like doesn't make sense.
Well, again, because it begins from the premise that there's this enormous like wave of
supply,
landlords
right? Yeah. and
who
there's
want
not.
to do this, and that the people just can't find them. And the problem is, if that premise isn't true, if that premise is a lie, and there just is no housing, then the app is pointless. Like it has no
Right.
reason to exist.
this will come in handy if at such time we do like
suddenly have
seize all of the vacant luxury condos as public housing and need to get them filled real quick with homeless people. So this will come in handy for that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, does
Quick, get another apartment for the Zillow app. This one's on stamp.
Yeah.
So this one's on Zillow now.
Does Zillow already do rentals?
Yeah.
They
yeah, yeah.
That's how
okay.
the last place I rented.
Okay.
That's how I found it. Was
All right.
Zillow, yeah.
Because I was going to say maybe this was a backdoor way for them to create some kind of rental feature that they didn't already have.
Well, I think Greg's right. I think they've literally just built a portal to the information that's already on their app, and
Cool.
the portal probably just has some like built-in filters on it. That's it. Like
That rocks. Yeah, it's like a database view called like Zillow _poor _ people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. So that sucks a lot.
Yeah, that sucks.
Or I mean, that was rad innovation. I feel blessed to live in such a city with these tech geniuses.
You wish you were working on a project as exciting and innovative as that.
Exactly. Driving around in Teslas and Maseratis and
Yeah.
eating at terrible restaurants.
Yeah, I think your new Maserati, frankly, is tacky, Colin.
I do not have a Maserati.
Well, and the app thing is always funny too because it's just like the Gates Foundation, where no matter how much money they quote unquote give away, Bill Gates just seems to somehow get richer. Like these tech companies, no matter how much innovating they do in the public sector, it still seems to always just redound to them.
Yeah.
Like in them solely. It's almost as if they have a sort of interest in like stealing this money. But I mean, just and the responses to like Jenny's tweet are the usual like just awful shit that you can expect from fucking Seattle about like, well, we got an app for drug use then too and all the usual shit. But I mean, just fucking garbage. What a stupid city.
Yeah, incredibly brain dead. The Innovation Advisory Council is a joke. I wish some journalist in this town's job was just to dunk on them every day for the last almost
just to
2
really
years.
dig into I just want to know. I want someone to say affirmatively either way what the financial situation
Arrangements
is.
are.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
almost certainly some sort of grift happening there. But the problem is it's so fucking boring and they don't do anything ever. So, like, I feel like as a journalist, like, no paper would... Like, there's no juice to the story.
In a way, the correct response is to ignore this because it's not anything. But it's being used to, to polish a turd.
Well, I think it is important to start to strip away the facade of the power of STEM, like the genius myth.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see that. I mean, Iowa is a big step towards that, right? I mean, we're starting to see the emperor has no clothes. Most software is garbage. Most people that work in software will tell you it's garbage. Nobody that makes software is any smarter than you. You can make software too. I mean, that's the truth, right? And so pushing back on this myth, especially when it comes from your mayor.
Well, this idea that wait for this to be like the pilot version of an upscaled federal version under the Bloomberg administration. Okay, this is like
this is very Bloombergian.
Like so fucking Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and all this, like, techno-utopian shit is just, like, a rejection of class politics and stuff, too.
Yeah.
That's part of why you have to strip it away to show that, like, no, this is just another grift that rich people pull on you to, like, take your money, right? Like, I'm sure that whatever they're getting for this, for the being on the Innovation Council, is probably not very much in the grand scheme of things. Amazon probably takes more money from the city every day.
Yeah.
But it is, like, important to, like, point these things out and be like, yeah, like, they literally steal everything that's, like, not nailed down.
Right, this is a tool. This is a thing they can all say they're doing instead of paying into a business tax,
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, tech companies in the state of Washington are specifically exempted from paying the sales tax, which is like our only way to collect taxes in this stupid state. And so it's like one of those things too of like, how about instead of being on the Innovation Council, you just pay taxes like the rest of us,
Yeah.
Well, and then we would have that money.
How would we know how to spend it?
Yeah, exactly.
If we didn't ask our tech overlords.
If we didn't have a portal provided
We're so
to us.
fucking dumb.
Yeah.
How would we know how to spend that money correctly and efficiently?
Yeah.
Because we're fucking swine.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, fuck, man. Yeah, it's end of the world shit.
It's extremely bad. So, yeah, anytime somebody starts telling you STEM people are cool, just tell them to fuck off. So, speaking of STEM overlords, one last little note here.
Well, it's not all bad for the tech companies.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, some things are good, like when our own little Jeffrey Bezos buys the most expensive property in Los Angeles with 1/8% of his net worth, which would be equivalent if you made $60,000 a year of spending $75 on a house, and it was like $175 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. People should really. I think people really don't, because it's so much money. We talked about this in the last episode about like Bill Gates must have an army of people that just look at his money all day and probably have like meetings and shit, because it's like such an unfathomable amount of money. That like it is nice when people put it in perspective like that. Like he bought $175 million house, and it's the equivalent of if you bought a $75 house.
Yeah.
Like for him, like
Yeah.
he
I
literally.
don't know if I bought like $1.50 house.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like it's the kind of thing that you would like if you saw something like funny at a store, you might like buy it like money, like
Yeah, right.
It's that
Right,
for
right.
for old Jeffrey. Like just on a lark, he was like probably saw it from his private pedophile plane and was like, oh shit, what's that cost? Whatever, just buy it.
You could put a lot of traffic children in this baby. Slaps the.
Yeah, and again, it's totally
hood.
the joke that we had last time about the yacht with Bill Gates too. Of like, when they were saying that Bill Gates had bought that yacht, that he probably did think for a second, like, did I buy that yacht? Did I buy a $600 million yacht? We should ask around.
Oh God.
Like,
yeah.
Jeff might not even know he bought the house.
Well,
Who I've
like,
forgotten
it
already.
just goes to show you, like, the idea that these people are not paying taxes, right? Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I pay fucking taxes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taxes are for us to pay, not for them.
Yeah, literally everybody listening to this has paid more in taxes than like
Yeah.
Boeing as a corporation did.
Yep.
Like, and not as a percentage, but like a gross amount. Like, the sheer amount was more than Boeing paid. Like, I mean, that's that should disgust you.
Yeah,
Should
and
have.
you probably haven't even killed hundreds of people.
Yeah, exactly. Your plane probably
If
works.
you had, DM us.
Yeah. Have you had? We are looking for guests for the new season.
Well,
If you are the world's most prolific serial killer
Yeah.
and you live in Seattle, please slide into those DMs.
By the way, good chance that is the case, though. But yeah, true crime is big on podcasts, so we're trying to get into that.
Oh,
market,
yeah,
into
yeah.
that lane.
Yeah.
So
Gary Ridgway Jr., if you're out there. So this was the Warner estate. If you want to go check that out. The article I pulled up doesn't mention all this. Oh, it has a golf course, a tennis court, all kinds of wild shit. So good for him.
yeah.
Oh, it's like
Work
it's a
hard, you
classic
play hard,
old
you know?
Hollywood
Yeah.
Palace.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
What's the? Yeah, it's the Warner estate, right?
It is the
Yeah.
Warner estate. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 acres in Beverly Hills. I bet he's just blasting that Weezer song.
No, he's blasting that Weezer song, but it is Weezer playing it,
Yeah,
like,
right, right.
at the house.
But he
yeah.
has like a remote control. That
that turns them on and off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, oh yeah, we actually have a patron to thank before we go. Dizzy Devil, thank you for joining this
Yeah, thank you.
this crew, this
love you.
mad crew. If you want to be like Dizzy Devil, go find us on Patreon. We have lots of episodes, and there's cool stuff there. Check it out.
Yeah, enjoy all that sweet, sweet content.
Yeah, plug it right into your ears. And we wanted to do a quick shout out for our friends at the Deadbeat Film Society. They're doing a screening of Clueless at Chateau Ste. Michelle, the winery, on March 28th at 7 p.m. The doors are at 6:30. Tickets are $30. Go check it out. That movie actually owns. If you haven't seen it, it is really fucking funny.
Oh
and
yeah,
good.
you haven't seen Clueless. What's happening in your life? But
Well,
yeah.
I hadn't seen it till somewhat recently, and I loved it. It's amazing.
It's very good. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really good.
it's
Go,
great.
go
Holds
check
up.
it out. If you like Fast Times, you'll probably like that too. Yeah. So,
It's an interesting comparison.
same director.
Oh.
Okay. We'll catch you later.
See ya.
Bye.